Hello, welcome to the One I Have Spare Time podcast. My name is Frank, and I'm enjoying Easter. Today's Easter, but you won't hear this for a while. Yeah, I don't really care that it's Easter. Can you believe that? I don't care about the make believe bunny that hides or lays chocolate eggs that I have to find. Don't care. I don't even know what Easter is. I just know that there's a magical bunny that lays eggs. That's the only thing I know about it. I don't know if it's a religious thing. I don't know if it's a popular cartoon from the 20s. I don't know, but it means nothing to me. But anyway, it's Easter. Also, I've lost 13 pounds in 19 days from my and you guys know, if you've listened to the show, I'm always trying some kind of weird new diet or some exercise program just because I like experimenting and seeing what works and what doesn't work. And so this is my new type of diet. The last diet I had was the emergency, or like the food rations, or the like survival food. That worked. It's just I don't know, eating survival food. It's just bland, and it's kind of pointless. So like I stopped. Oh, and then another thing about like emergency food or survival food, whatever. If you eat like too much of it, it just, I don't know, like it just made me sick. Like because I was eating these like whatever, like a 400 calorie bar, because it's not really food. It's like a rectangle, and it tells you how many calories are on it. And like I just got really sick one time. Like I ate one of these 400 calorie bars, and it just, maybe it's my body saying, "Eat some real food, idiot." Or maybe it was bad. I don't know, but I don't see how it could be bad. Like the ingredients are meant to last for like 5 years or whatever, and this was a relatively new one. It's like it was a couple months old. So, but yeah, I just started like up chucking immediately, and I was like, dude, I felt horrible for like 4 days. I want to say, like, I didn't feel normal until like the fourth day. But anyway, the diet I'm doing now is just I'm basically eating once a week, give or take. Um, I'm just, it's once a week basically. I'm not gonna get too complicated here, because like sometimes it's like 5 days, sometimes it's 8 days, whatever. But basically, I'm eating once a week, and like I exercise the same, and it's I've that seems like the best way to lose weight. And then I'm not hungry because you don't have to eat every day. I eat like how humans used to eat when we first became modern. Like we were still living in caves, but we looked like this. Like back then, you didn't eat every day because, well, you didn't, because you had to go, you had to go hunt your food, and then sometimes there weren't any berries to gather, so you didn't eat every day. You ate like once every 2 weeks. So I'm just eating like humans were meant to eat, and yeah, it seems like it seems like to be the easiest weight loss program. So yeah, eat once a week. It works for me. I'm not saying it's gonna work for you because you probably can't step away from your type 2 diabetes donut chicken burger, but that's neither here nor there. Um, anyway, so if you've noticed, well, I released these so late. I wonder if the George Floyd case is going to still be going on by the time that this show comes out, or are the George Floyd riots going to be still going on when this comes out? It must suck living in a country where where the media purposely tries to get the populace to riot. It's like the media is really trying to make it like, George Floyd was like, singled out, and just, he was a great guy, and they just sniped him. but in reality, he was like high on a boatload of drugs. And when you're that high on drugs and you got the cops trying to arrest you, you're gonna act weird, and so you're gonna have to be restrained. Now the thing is, could could have could you've done something to like calm him down? The problem is, when someone's like that high on drugs, they're basically crazy. They're mentally insane. So let's just say if they let George Floyd go, well, there's a good chance he would have hurt himself, or maybe hurt someone else, you know, and then like he has past offenses where he's robbed people and pointed guns at people, so you don't have to get into details because you can look it up. So like it's not like he was a good guy, but the media is making him out to be this martyr, and then that's getting all these like uneducated people all hyped up, and they for some reason, even though they don't know George Floyd, they're acting like he's their best friend or whatever, and they're getting all angry. And like, are they really getting angry, or do they just want to riot to get free stuff? I get the feeling, because like, how can you be so angry about someone you don't even know, and then his background, and then he was high? If you're like literally clinically insane high and you're dealing with the cops, that's not the cops' fault. It just doesn't make any sense. But the media is like twisting their story to make it, to make George Floyd this a victim. But I don't know, man. Like, we got to do something about the media. Like the media in this country causes a lot of problems. And like the only people who are gonna get hurt in this George Floyd situation is the poor neighborhoods and the small businesses around these poor neighborhoods. And so once these small businesses leave because they're burned down, the neighborhood's just gonna get even worse. The more places destroyed, that's more unemployment, and unemployment's already bad because of what's going on. It's like almost like the media does this on purpose, so these people will destroy their own, so these poor people will just get poorer. That's what's going to happen if these people riot. They're just going to get even more poor and just be kept down more because of themselves. They're basically stepping on their own necks, keeping themselves down because the media's getting them all hyped up to riot. I mean, the media wants them to riot, that's obvious. Because like, if the media didn't want to, they would report the story right. They would talk about like, he was high off his ass. Like he resisted arrest for like literally 45 minutes. He like they couldn't get him in the cop car. It's, I don't know. It's like I don't know what you want the cops to do. And once again, they could have just let him go. But if he's that high, he's gonna hurt himself or hurt someone else. And so if that happens, it's even a bigger story because it's like everyone he hurts, they can sue the city. So yeah, and then the city gave his family $27 million for a civil case. I don't know why. Probably to just relieve riot situations, because the city knows that if there's a riot, it's going to be a lot more damage than $27 million. That's so sad that like our judicial system, the people involved have this social pressure, like, well, gee, like, should we like do this, because if we don't, there's gonna be millions of dollars of damage. But hey, like, justice is justice, so I don't know what to tell you, but I think I would have just, if I was the cop and I knew he was that high, I would actually just let him go, because it's like, who he is, though. So it's like you can still, find him. I don't know, like, there should be a way where if someone's that high, where, like, you just, like, handcuff them to like a bike rack. I mean, I don't know, there's gotta be something you can do. Or, like, actually call an ambulance, or paramedics, and, like, handcuff them to the gurney, and like take him to like the psych ward or something, because like when you're that high, the person's in La La Land, like the George probably didn't even know that they were cops. He like probably thought they were like aliens. You know, when you're high, like you don't know what's going on. So, but like don't be high. Like with the cops, like don't use counterfeit money when you go to the liquor store. I mean, like the reason why this whole thing started is because Floyd was using counterfeit money at the liquor store. I'm like, dude. And like people check money these days. I mean, well, I say these days. Like people always check money to see if it's fake, you know? And then like especially if you're that high, the person behind the counter is gonna trust you even less. And like, guess what? People can tell if you're that high. You know, you usually don't act normal when you're that high. So that's on him. But the problem is, even though it's on him, the whole city suffers. That whole city suffers, and there's people coming from out of state to riot. You know, so society suffers because of stuff like this. And I wish the media would actually try to prevent it instead of making it worse. That's, because I've been thinking about like not that I can do anything, but I think the news should be like monitored by the government now, but like a separate entity, meaning like there's only one news source, like just one news source, and it can't be partisan. It just has to be the news, and there has to be no opinions given for it, or I mean given with it. Just facts, and like have like a robot read it. Have like Siri read the news, okay? Because it's like anything that's driven by ratings, aka money, is going to be corrupt. I mean, like you look, you see how the news reports things. If you watch the right station, you'll get the complete opposite story. Even though it's the same story, you'll have two stations tell two different things. It's news, but they're so opinionated and like sway things or lean towards one way that it's not really news anymore. It's just like entertainment. It's like an echo chamber, and the person watching that channel is just wants to hear news that's going to agree with them. You know? And that's why, like CNN's anti-Trump, Fox News is more on the other side. It's it's all BS. I mean, that's why I don't watch the news now. And I am definitely not mad over George Floyd. And I think the people who are protesting, they're just sheep. Like, why do you care so much about someone you don't know? Like the police are not mowing down innocent people in the middle of the street. The only reason why you think that is because the news has put that into your head. There is not a rash of cops just grabbing random innocent people off the street and choking them or whatever. It's just not happening. But like if you watch the news, you'd think it was happening. You gotta stop watching the news, people. Or like you gotta get your news from independent sources that don't gain anything from ratings, sources that don't gain anything by leaning Republican or leaning Democrat. Like President Trump. Like I don't want to watch a news station that's just pro-Trump, because you're not gonna get the real news, and I don't want to watch a station that's anti-Trump because you're not getting the news, you're just getting opinions. Same with Biden. I don't care about a pro-Biden or an anti-Biden news station. I just want the news. But we can't get that because news is entertainment these days. You got Joe Biden falling up the stairs going on the Air Force One. If that was Trump, it'd be front page news, and they'd be like, he has to step down from office. Biden, it's no big deal. And it's just the hypocrisy of how news is reported just blows my mind. That's why it's that's just why I can't watch. Okay, like Biden's dog, like I think the presidential dog, like he's already I think he's bit a couple of people. So like like it's a German Shepherd. He bit someone like last week. I think it's the second time the dog's bit someone. If that was Trump's dog, it'd be like Trump is an unfit president. He needs to be impeached. The dog has to be put down. But Biden, nah, it's no big deal. Not that I care about the dog. It's just you know how the media is. You know if it was Trump, it'd be like the end of the world. But because it's Biden, it's not. You know, just like Hunter Biden and the computer. If that was Donald Trump Jr.'s laptop, oh my God, it'd be the end of the world. I don't want news like that. I just want like honest, facts only. I just want the facts. If so and so did something good, let's hear it. If so and so did something bad, let's hear it. And stop trying to scare the public. You got the news like, like with all these, especially on the medical side that we have going on with the, with like the fantasy flu. It blows my mind how like they blow all the stats out of proportion, and people aren't dying. There's cases with the 99% survival rate. There's cases, but we gotta stop acting like people like we're acting like people are dying every like 2 seconds. They're not, but the news is putting the fear of God in people. The news just likes to create tension and fear in society. Like, when are people gonna stop following the news? This country will never be the same again because so many people have been scared so badly by the media. And of course, the government is, well, half the government is supporting this because the government wants to control you too. So it's like with fear and chaos, it's easier to control you. And it seems like it's trending. Like more and more people are like finally coming to their senses and just be like, and are like, okay, the government says one thing this week, and then like the next week it's something else. We just got to go back to normal, and that's what it seems like. What's going on? And then they put the fear of doom into people by predicting, well, in a few months things are gonna get really bad. How's that possible? How do you know things are gonna get really bad? You're just saying that so people are like expecting it. So like when you make up some fake news, people are like, okay, I understand. I guess we can't leave our houses again. I guess we gotta shut down more businesses. I guess we gotta raise the unemployment rate. The news, the politicians. Not every politician is your friend. If a politician's taking money from like any big corporation, which is almost all of them, their views, their morals are skewed. They're leaning in one way. How come like every politician, you can watch a video of them from like 10 years ago and their stance on any topic is the complete opposite of what it is now, because guess what? The right person donated to them. That's just how it is. We got to vote new people in, but I doubt that'll happen because it hasn't happened yet. How do you have politicians that have been in office for like 50 years? That's ridiculous. That should be just, I don't know. There should be like a limit on how many times you could be a senator, how many times or how many years you could serve in Congress. But anyway, that's my rant. Talk to you later.